We're not just a tech company growing a SaaS product, we are here to serve our farmers and make them financially successful. So farmers don't need more tools. You mentioned that earlier. They're not looking for more tools. They're not looking for more work. They just need the right ones. And that's why we let their voices guide what we build, but also how we operate.
Welcome to Agbioscience, the #1 podcast in the world for innovation in food, animal health, plant science, ag tech, and agriculture. Welcome to Agbioscience. I'm Kayla Chittister, producer of the podcast, here with co-host Eric Pfeiffer. Eric, hey, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Full time, man.
Full time.
Let's go.
I left my list of demands in my dressing room. A fruit basket would have been nice.
Your showrunner?
Yeah.
We'll keep that in mind for the future. January is nigh. We will we'll make sure you have your red M&Ms pulled out and put into a specific
Appreciate
bowl.
that very
Nothing
much.
but the best for you, my friend.
The diva mode on you, yes.
You had a chance to talk with Hannah Parsons, the new Chief Operating Officer for Traction Ag, and she's got this really unique background with Barn Owl Technologies, now over at Team Traction, and she really had, I think, a specific calling to talk about what's really been exciting for their team this year, and that is partnerships and acquisitions. And boy, what a year it's been for them in that regard.
The partnerships with the cooperatives like FS and Keystone, it's really made things easier, even easier with their technology for farmers who are with those cooperatives. And I think that that's the key here, Kayla, that we touch on throughout the podcast. We're all here for it. If we can make things easier for our farmers, we're good to go. And I think that, when we think about farmers and what are they going to change? How are they going to change? What are they going to adopt that's new? Oftentimes they think, well, how's it going to affect my yield? This financial tool can do that. And I'm really excited for folks to hear how exactly from Hannah.
Throughout the entire conversation, what I thought was so interesting, soup to nuts operationally, whether it's the technology, the way they approach their direct farmer relationship, the acquisitions, the partnerships, it is all centered on how it will impact the farmer. And I don't think you see another fintech platform that is focused that much on how it will impact the farmer and ultimately their yield.
I kind of wish I was a farmer. I could plug it in, all of this information that they take. They're like, yeah, you could probably buy. Like it takes into all of their agronomic decisions, all of their input costs. It takes all of those things. It just puts them all together. I wish I could do it. She could guide me on whether or not I should be stopping for that fast food or not, or if I could stop at a nicer restaurant. Like that's what it kind of equates to in this real life for farmers. What can I afford? What should I be able to afford? What's going to make me more money and get me more yield?
When you look at it from an innovation perspective, you have the opportunity every day to talk with the farmer. It paint the picture for just how critical it is to have something that helps them understand that bottom line so much. If there's an aspiring innovator out there that needs to have that full breadth of understanding of how this deeply impacts the farm gate, their operations, their bottom line, paint the picture of what those conversations look like for them right now and why a platform like this has been so impactful for them.
Well, I mentioned it in the podcast. I don't think any farmer has ever gotten into farming because they really enjoy the banking side of it. They enjoy the financials. It's because they love to farm. It's a lifestyle. And so when you have tools like this, when you have a tool that a farmer can use, and especially if it's turnkey, like this Traction Ag platform is, that makes such a huge difference for farm profitability, just from the standpoint of now the farmer can invest in themselves. They can invest in more time in what they're doing on the farm because they don't have to step away on nights and weekends to go run the books. So if you have a solution for a farmer, especially one that's turnkey, boy, I think they'll hear you out.
Yeah. ROI in a number of areas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Please enjoy Eric's conversation with Hannah Parsons, new Chief Operating Officer for Traction Ag, this week on the podcast.
Hannah, thank you so much for joining us here on Agbioscience. Let's talk Traction Ag. If you could, share the company's story and the work you do with farmers on their financials. The last few years have been filled with some challenges. So how does this work?
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, first of all, for having me. It is fun. I'm new to the Traction Ag team and really enjoying the ride. Traction Ag was started with a pretty simple idea, and that was to give farmers a modern cloud-based financial platform that's built specifically for how farms actually operate. So most of our team have really deep ag backgrounds, so we've seen firsthand how hard it is to make really good decisions. When your numbers are spread across spreadsheets, paper invoices, and different systems, whether it's at your agronomy or grain partner. So what we do at Traction is bring all of that together. We focus on true farm financials, so accounting, cost tracking, profitability, down to a field level, and the tools farmers need to understand where they are today and where they're headed. So our goal is to help farmers move from after-the-fact bookkeeping, which a lot of businesses do, to real-time financial insight that's connected to their operations so they can make better decisions real-time with more confidence.
Well, and I would say, Hannah, that farmers probably appreciate having something like that because, they like to farm. I don't know that they much care about doing all the financial stuff. They like to farm, but the financial stuff is very important. As I mentioned, there have been some challenges here in the past several years for farmers. We can point to input costs. We can point to market pressures. What are you guys at Traction Ag hearing from farmers right now on the challenges that they're facing when it comes to financial management and decision making?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We talk to farmers every day, and we're hearing two big themes over and over, and you touched on it. The first theme is complexity and volatility. So input costs, interest rates, and market conditions have shifted so quickly that year-end reporting, isn't enough. It's not enough for us to know at the end of the year. Farmers want in-season clarity. Am I profitable on this field, this crop, this decision? Answering that requires timely, accurate financial data. So that first theme, complexity and volatility. The second theme is just time and capacity constraints. You mentioned most operators are running really lean, and they're the same people that are making agronomy, marketing, and operational decisions. They're farming, and they're also trying to keep up with bookkeeping on nights and weekends. So it's not a lack of skill. It's a lack of hours in the day and the growing complexity of the financial management. So it leads to delayed data, incomplete records, and then a lot of pressure to make decisions when all that stuff isn't readily available. So what we see clearly is that farmers are looking for tools that reduce complexity, save time, and give them confidence in their numbers. Traction is built to deliver that. So again, back to that real-time decision-making by bringing all of the financial information together in one place and removing a lot of the manual tasks that slow down decision-making.
And again, I'll just go back to, I've never met a farmer that's been like, you know what, I really like the numbers. That's why I farm. That's having a tool to help them is great to have. So Traction Ag, a platform dedicated to farm financials. It's kind of a unique proposition that sounds, far more simple than reality. Can you speak to some of the gaps from agronomy to field operations and beyond that inefficiencies can create on farm and how the Traction platform is designed to integrate the farmer's financials?
Yeah, sure. You're exactly right. Saying farm financials sounds simple, but it touches almost everything on the operation. So most farms are running multi-million-dollar business systems that don't talk to each other. You have spreadsheets over here. You have QuickBooks over there. You have field data, whether in John Deere or Climate, and you have a pile of receipts on the kitchen table. So that disconnection leads to duplicate entry, wasted time. Decisions are then made because they have to be made quickly without a full, clear financial picture. So when agronomy, field operations, and billing all live in a separate system, the gaps show up in pretty practical ways. So a couple examples, you may know what you spend on fertilizer overall, but not your true cost per field or crop. You might have accurate invoices from your retailer, but they're not tied clearly into your accounting system. And then you might track yields by field, but not see those yields alongside your cost of production. So those gaps lead to missed opportunities and sometimes decisions that feel right, like you have kind of a gut, well, I think this is where we are, but they're not supported by data. And Traction is built to close the gaps by connecting all those major pieces of a farm operation directly into the financials. So we're not just a ledger, we're built for production row crop farms. Field records tied directly into your P&L. Equipment data syncs with expenses. Revenue and inventory are tracked by crop year, not calendar year. That makes it easier to see the true field profitability and allows you to make better decisions in marketing for marketing and cash flow.
Hannah, as I hear you explain all of this, I wonder what the conversations with farmers are like, because oftentimes when trying to adopt a new platform like this or new technology in any way, the question immediately becomes, what is the return? What's the potential return? How can this help? I don't know that I can invest in it unless it's going to increase yield. And it sounds like even with just this financial platform, we can increase yield with this.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the conversations that we have with farmers about this and how they come to adoption of a platform, all those conversations vary by farmer, right? But a common theme that can help people get on board and understand where we're going is they're frustrated that the tools that they have at their disposal weren't built for agriculture. So that's the one thing we can all start with agreement on. These things weren't built for how we operate. Most farms are using it at QuickBooks or just spreadsheets and spreadsheet workarounds because that's what their accountant recommended. So very often, how farm operations work may not be the same that their accountant is wanting for tax purposes. So they have tools that work fine for tax prep, but fall short when it comes to managing the complex farm operations. So that's where Traction kind of changes the conversation. So when we're talking to them about this, we'll say farmers immediately see the value, the ROI, the real break even by field, multi-entity support, crop year reporting. They will see that, but it might take more of an alignment and conversation with some of their advisors, their accountant, to make sure that they understand why that's important to the farmer before they can make a switch to a platform like Traction. So we're actually working actively to bridge that gap and we work a lot with farmers' accountants by letting them have access to their customer subscription, both accountants and bookkeepers. We provide robust support to both the farmer and the professional services teams. And now we have professional service firms who are recommending us to their farm clients. So now, instead of us having to go and convince the farmer and then their accountant, now we're starting to see more professional services accountants and bookkeepers recommend us to the farmer. So they're starting to understand that value as well. So our goal is really to make it easy for both the farmer and anyone who works with them on their books to move forward with real clarity and confidence so they can see that return on investment.
Partnerships, acquisitions. It was a big year for Traction Ag in 2025. What's ahead for 26? We'll discuss that next here on the Agbioscience podcast. It's supported by Indiana Farm Bureau.
From berries to dairies, from crop advisors to data analyzers, Indiana Farm Bureau is at the forefront of the top issues impacting Indiana agriculture. No matter your role in the ag industry, Indiana Farm Bureau membership means you'll always have a champion and an advisor. And because so much of your time is focused on your own enterprise, it's also good to know Indiana Farm Bureau is always working to fight for the future of agriculture. We come together to advocate for rural viability, the protection of property rights, competitive tax policies, and against burdensome regulations. Whether our members need a door opened, an impact in public policy, or an ally to strengthen their communities, Indiana Farm Bureau is there. We are the unified voice for all agriculture. To learn more about the benefits of Indiana Farm Bureau membership, go to infb.org.
Welcome back to the Agbioscience podcast. I'm Eric Pfeiffer from Hoosier Ag Today, your host today. And we talked about it before the break. It's been a big year for partnerships and integration at Traction Ag, including that with FS and Keystone Cooperative. How does the company approach these kinds of partnerships to better serve the farmer?
Yeah, that's a great question. We looked through at partnerships through a really simple lens. Does this make life easier and more valuable for the farmer? So we're really fortunate, we're very values driven. We put the farmer first, and so do our partners. So when you're really aligned on that value proposition, it makes it easy to find ways to work together. So FS and Keystone are really great examples. These cooperatives are already central to so many of our growers' operations, especially on the input side. So farmers are receiving invoices and statements from them every month. And instead of asking the farmer to re-enter all of that into Traction, we build billing integrations that pull the invoices directly into the platform. So that works for everybody, right? That's a win-win. Our approach as a company is to sit down with the partner and say, what does the farmer experience look like today from your side? And where are the friction points? how can we jointly remove steps, reduce errors, and give them better information to make the farmer more successful? And we're all aligned on that goal. So when we find alignment around that, integrations like FS and Keystone are not just technical projects, not just technical integrations. They're really shared solutions that serve the grower. That's why partners are such a clear priority for us at Traction. And we just have that conversation with our partners frequently to say, what's the next point of frustration, or what's the next piece of the system that might be holding a farmer back from realizing real financial success?
And the easier you can make it, the better off you are in the farmer's mind. I know they're looking for efficiency. That's for sure. Hannah, your team acquired PC Mars in late 2025, a move to serve farmers at every stage. Can you talk a little bit about what that transaction, what that acquisition did to bring the Traction Ag Toolkit, and how do you envision it adding to your capabilities in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. We are so excited about bringing PC Mars to the Traction Ag family. As you know, it's a trusted desktop-based accounting system platform that more than 7,000 farms across the Midwest rely on. And it has an incredible reputation, well-deserved, by the way. So to answer what did the acquisition bring to the Traction Ag Toolkit, I'd say a few things. First, it adds a proven accounting foundation built specifically for agriculture, very aligned with Traction Ag. PC Mars, though, has a rock solid, in addition to the rock solid core accounting function and logic, their tax workflows that farmers and their accountants rely on are really fantastic. And having that kind of purpose-built system in our toolkit gives us a strong base for continued innovation. So that tax side is really something that I think it will help us build our future toolkit even better. The second thing I think it brings is just a really large, dedicated community of farm-focused users and advisors who care deeply about accurate financial records. So these farmers have trusted PC Mars for years, and their experience and expectations really help shape and strengthen what we're building now. So we're working on a joint roadmap for the future to see where both companies always wanted it to go and how we go further, faster together. Third, it gives us the ability to offer farmers a smooth transition path to a cloud-based solution, because as we said, PC Mars is desktop-based, but only when those users are ready to make that change. PC Mars users can keep working in their desktop environment that they trust, but now there's going to be a clear bridge to real-time integrations, automated workflows, and more advanced reporting capabilities when they're ready for it. And then so we can make that a really smooth transition for the users. So those three things I would say, but I have to say, combining that with adding Kent Vikra and the PC Mars team to Traction, that is what really ensures we're leading in the category. So I've had the pleasure of working with Kent and his team directly a lot as an integrator, and it just is our relationship and the trust, and that is just phenomenal. They're an incredible team. So together we now definitely serve as the largest base of farm-specific accounting customers in the U.S., backed by the strongest product expertise in the industry, no doubt.
Hannah, we've talked a lot about the farmer relationship during this podcast. How does that relationship with the Traction Ag team continue to define and inform how you refine and scope technologies, add partnerships, decide what's next for the company?
Yeah. At Traction, the farmer relationship is everything. It is everything and all about the relationships. Our team is constantly in the field, at farm shows, they're at training events, they're doing one-on-ones with customers and partners, and that real-world feedback shapes our roadmap. It influences the partnership strategy, as we mentioned earlier, and it just informs our daily operations. How do we work internally to make sure that we're serving the farmer first? We have formalized that input through our grower advisory board. So that's a group of really forward-thinking farmers who help us test ideas. They beta test new features, and they're ensuring that we're on the right track. They give us great feedback. They question a lot of what we do, and then it causes us to really think through all those decisions. And I think ultimately that constant communication with the farmer, those conversations happening every day, they keep us grounded and focused. We're not just a tech company growing a SaaS product. We are here to serve farmers and make them financially successful. So farmers don't need more tools. You mentioned that earlier. They're not looking for more tools. They're not looking for more work. They just need the right ones. And that's why we let their voices guide what we build, but also how we operate.
Got to find the right ones. We've got to make farmers more efficient. That's just the end all be all. We've got to make that happen. Hannah, when you look at the challenges and gaps that exist today, what do you see as the biggest opportunities to continue integrating farm financials that will help operations thrive?
Yeah, that is a great question. It's the one we ask our farmers and our partners every day. So right now, I'd say I see three really big opportunities. First is the opportunity for deeper connectivity. There's still a lot of information trapped in separate systems: field data, billing, inventory, financing. So the more seamlessly we can connect those into a single financial view, the more powerful and timely, again, that timeliness is so important, that will all become for the farm. The second, I think that we still see opportunity in is better decision-making support, not just reports. So it's one thing to show a grower their cost of production, right? It's another to help them quickly compare scenarios, understand the risk, and talk more confidently with their lender or their advisor. So there's still a huge opportunity to turn clean data into clearer decisions for the farmer. And the third, I think, is serving farms of different sizes and stages. These are complex. So some operations are ready for fully connected, integrated platform today. Some are ready to go. Others are still just trying to figure out how to move from paper or basic desktop software. And so we really want to meet the farmers where they're at and build pathways that meet each farmer and then help them grow into the more advanced tools over time, because they're learning as they go. So it's a major opportunity for the whole ag finance ecosystem actually right now to be able to serve different sizes and types of farms. So I think if we keep closing those gaps by connecting data, supporting decisions, and meeting farmers at every stage, I believe we can play a meaningful role in helping shape operations, not only to navigate volatility, but to really thrive through it.
2025 was a big year. We've talked about it. I assume you would love it if 2026 was even bigger. What do you see ahead for Traction Ag that has you the most excited here in the near term and long term?
Yeah, that's a really good question too. You know, what's ahead?
I'm full of them, Hannah. That's why I'm here.
Good.
I'm full of these good
coming.
questions.
You keep them coming. Right now, I mean, we're still in the really exciting phase with this PC Mars acquisition. So that one obviously still really stands out because, as you said, we just announced that at the end of this year. And so we have a lot of work to do to build those partnerships. So as COO, I'm the operator/integrator, so I get to work really closely with PC Mars team on how we make the most of that partnership. So we get to both steward the future of an amazing product and community of users and where that goes, while also thinking really big about how our products best serve farmers in the future. So I think what you'll see in 2026 is how some of that future plays out. In addition to that, we have some new programs coming that we'll be rolling out with our existing partners in the coming months. And some of those are really exciting. So I would just say stay tuned for some announcements there for ways that we are identifying ways to partner again with FS and Keystone. And then the third thing I would say is we're going to be expanding our partner ecosystem. So we're looking at additional expansions of just how we're growing the overall ecosystem for our partnership. So 2026 will be more of that, I think, and for the future, right? So making sure that we are always looking at what's the next pain point, as we mentioned earlier, what's the next pain point for farmers and how do we eliminate it so that we make it smoother, faster, funner, whatever. I mean, nobody ever thinks that it can be fun, but maybe it could, right? So that's thinking really big. So ultimately, we will just continue to put the farmer first. We're going to help them make strong financial decisions. To do that, we're going to be continuing to integrate field, financial, and operational data into one unified platform. So that's the mission, right? It's one system, one source of truth, built for the farm, and we're just getting started.
Well, you just put some games in the middle of it. While they're waiting for things to update, you just put games in the middle. People let farmers play Royal Match or something while everything's updating. We can make this whole thing really fun. I
disagree. Yeah, when in doubt, gamify it, right?
Hannah, thank you so much for joining us on Agbioscience. We really appreciate the time.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And thank you for joining us on behalf of the entire AgriNovus team. We certainly appreciate you listening and watching. Be sure to come back and see us again next week on the Agbioscience podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on all the channels to make sure you get that notification that it's ready to go. We'd love to see you again next time. I'm Eric Pfeiffer from Hoosier Ag Today. Until next time, be safe and be well.
Agbioscience is a podcast by AgriNovus Indiana, brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau. Produced by Kayla Chittister and Fabian Rodriguez. Photography and design by Kaylee Verstay. Video by Darren Cooper and 1898 Creative. If you like today's episode, subscribe, rate, listen, and review. Get all episodes of Agbioscience online at agrinovusindiana.com.